Hello there. Getting late into the evening, so I'm going to be going to bed soon, but I just wanted to explain something really quick. Um, for persons that can be of sociological use to society, this is inherently a less desirable thing to want to be in the position of. Because usually people are mean, vindictive, and typically unpleasant to be dealing with when it, is in dealing with sociological issues. Uh, there are all sorts of reasons an individual can end up in a situation where essentially they're being pushed around um, by whomever for whatever reason in an attempt to get them to do what it is they want them to do, whatever that may be. Whatever their particular skill set is, whatever the mentality of said individuals are. And the thing about all that is sometimes strange rules are introduced because of that. And I'll tell you an example of one where, this is celebrity status. Well, semi-celebrity, I would say at this point in time. I don't think he's worth that much money. Sylvester Stallone, tough guy, was just openly mocked for lifting fake weights. He's in not bad shape, but anyway, the point being is I remember hearing back in the day that he had this thing where no one was allowed to look at him in the eyes at a social function or a party or whatever. You weren't allowed to look at him directly in the eyes, and if you were caught doing that, you would never be invited to any social gathering where he was ever again. That's one example. I mean, that's typical because a lot of celebrities and semi-celebrities and whatever don't actually want an endless stream of attention from all sorts of too many people out there. So having this ability to institute rules like that may seem absurd, and in a way it is, but in also a way it makes kind of sense. And the other reason is an exercise of power. When they can make ridiculous rules that people have to obey by, that is power. Now, I'm not going to say Sylvester Stallone thought of that rule himself or was an advocate for it or whatever. I have no idea. However, I am aware of its effectiveness. And, if you're on the lower end of the spectrum of someone who's somewhat well known, those rules could be different. In my particular instance, people only talk to me in a certain manner, and that goes for everywhere. Doesn't matter where I go, it's always a particular manner in which I'm spoken to. And most often, nobody says a word. And I mean absolutely nobody. However, if anyone does say something, it's usually negative. And any of the other negative stuff that, like, for example, my psychiatrist gave me a sore throat for 8 years, but I'm not allowed to talk about that with them. They don't want to hear it. However, if I post a video that I didn't even create on Facebook I'm, immediately the bad guy. And it's like, um, you know, that doesn't make any sense. It really doesn't. Uh, but, I would like that to change, obviously. People should be looking forward. And this, I would refer to it as being in a boat cast away in the middle of the sea. And, having your boat go closer to land and then drift further apart, and you're never really where you want to be. And, to open the door and it starts off with negativity towards the individual in question, which would be me in this particular instance, is not a good way of doing it, especially after everything I went through. And psychiatrists are the ones that are mostly blamed for this. Giving me an impediment, so to speak, deliberately on purpose because they felt as though that was the best course of action. From my experience, don't ever trust a bureaucrat. It really will not get you anywhere. And that's me speaking to the audience saying that. Me, myself, yeah, I'm never going to trust a bureaucrat ever again in my life. There's always an ulterior motive for why they say certain things, and why they, essentially want to bully you around, lie to you. Lying is a form of bullying, especially if it's for a manipulative purpose. And then, of course, you factor in the sore throat for 8 years, and then it's really like bullying doesn't even begin to describe exactly what it is they're doing. And yeah, getting back to these strange rules, it's like, I feel as though there's always room for improvement on my own character, and that's something I will have to figure out for myself. However, I'm not convinced that everyone else has the same opinion about themselves, that there's room for improvement. I think they already think they're at the pinnacle of everything that there is to know. And if they think that, then I pity them, because if this is an intellectual game of chess, you're about to lose. I'm not going to get manipulated by you. I'm not the bad guy. It doesn't matter what you think or want to think, because those are, you start adding words like want to think, want to believe, as to believing based on fact, and also looking at what you think are facts and ignoring facts that you don't want to hear. These are all combinations of, actual things. And to ignore them and then push your agenda is not only hypocritical, it's absurd, it's insane. And a lot of people go, well, here you are, what are you doing, talking to your mirror or something because you're making a YouTube video and nobody's going to respond to it. Nobody has to respond to it. I only have to know that they're there. And I know they're there because, I know they're there. Psychiatrists don't like being proven wrong. They're supposed to be the cream of the crop, the best of society. How is it that a drunken stumblebum can outsmart them, outwit them? How is that possible? And, you know, hilarious. Absolutely hilarious. Um, yeah, that's obviously not what they want to hear. They want to pretend that they're not there, and then, hopefully, isolation, sore throat, no women, um, all that sort of stuff will take its psychological toll on myself, and someone will be there to correct everything I've done wrong and sweep everything they've done wrong under the rug. And we ain't playing that. That's not what's happening. Um, you know, um, I guess, this might take a very, very long time. But, yeah, I, um, I don't get tricked easily. There's a lot to think about. But the old tricks that worked on me in the earlier years, they don't work no more. And, it would be easy to be bitter about it, about having a sore throat for 8 years, no women, and, the other problems. However, that would not help me, especially right now, but going forward, that would not be advantageous for someone in my position. Um, yeah, this is something that, I don't know. Don't know what to say. Um, I wish I, didn't have to talk about these subjects, because they're not actually very interesting to me. There's a whole bunch of other stuff I'd rather be talking about, actually promoting my YouTube channel instead of wallowing in, not self pity, but, in my own kind of situation. Having to explain my own situation as opposed to talking about news stories and, the kind of stuff I like to talk about. Um, it's simply because I'm not getting anywhere with these people. Like, they don't want to hear a contradictory story of who I am because they've already told a story of who I am and it happens to be factually incorrect. And what little facts, and their facts are debatable on so many levels that they do have are, well, if they compare them to the facts I have against them, the facts that they believe in to justify what it is, the position I'm in, really don't count for much. They don't. I mean, anyone who has a full spectrum of what's going on, I'm not saying I do, I am saying I can sense that there's a general push into a direction that I do not like, do not want to go. I see it on the internet. I see it on the bus. I see it in basically anywhere else I go. It's like a cloud over my head at all times. And it's not a psychological one, although there is a little bit of that, I suppose. It is an actual, like being in a, like you're in a goldfish bowl. There's only so far you can go. I mean, when you got a sore throat, you don't really want to go places, do you? I mean, physiologically anyway. Psychologically, the the sky's the limit. Plenty of people tell you, no, you got nothing, you're dirt, you're this, you're that. And it's like, who in the fuck are you exactly to tell me that? These people, they don't want to hear it. Because nobody likes being wrong. I especially don't, because being wrong for me would mean so many bad things. Um, like, for example, 8 years sore throat, justified by the powers that be. Yeah, that's gonna be something that's not gonna sit well with me. That's one thing. Um, being placed um, in a social network that is not going to sit well with me. Being told that I'm going to have to take medications for the rest of my life, that's not going to happen and isn't going to sit well with me. And the list goes on. It even goes on so far as to say which kind of women I have to go with. Um, no one on this planet is telling me which kind of women I have to go with. Or what kind of friends I have to have, or any of that sort of stuff. No one is telling me that. And, again, that's another thing they don't want to hear. Because there have been people, stalking my social media mostly. Because, it's a virtual database of, probably well over 100 hours worth of content on it. And, yeah, when you put that much content on it, some people have been watching. I mean, there are algorithms and things like that, and, computer detection systems and all that kind of junk. Those are probably not the right combination of words to use, but, that's essentially it. That, sort of sift through things, but, I have said things of interest here and there that would, be of interest to some people. And, I'm in a position where I will never agree with what the story was, whatever it was, because I didn't hear what it was exactly. I mean, I might have heard snippets. I say might have because it might be propaganda. I don't really know. And, yeah. I'll be paying attention, and there's a lot I'm not putting up with. Because I don't have to be in this situation. Other people have to have me in this position. There's a difference. I, myself, do not have to be in this position. They need me in this position. And, you know, um, you know, there is a way that this can work out. And, if they choose to be uncooperative, which they have made on more than one occasion perfectly clear, then I will also be uncooperative. And I don't have to do very much at all to be uncooperative. You'd be surprised at how little I have to do to be uncooperative. And then, at the end of the day, nobody will like the situation. They won't like it about me, and I won't like it about where I am. anyway, these people with no names, no faces, and all that sort of stuff, they'll come out of the woodwork. I know they will. And we'll see how it unfolds. Anyway, getting late. Good night. And, yeah. I'll see you later.